the owner of Vegtabowl Foods, where vegetarians eat good too, and thank you for tuning in to Cooking with Vegtabowl Foods. And I'm so excited that you're here. You're in for a special treat because guess what? We're not doing any cooking. I know I'm in the kitchen, I know I have all this stuff around, but in fact, I wanted to take this time to invite you to join me on a 28-day smoothie challenge, which will begin February 1st. This is actually the kick-off video, so surprise, that's gonna help get us each ready to participate in this 28-day smoothie challenge. But before I get into all the other details, you may be thinking, now EJ, I knew you were crazy, but I didn't think you were this crazy. You want to do a 28-day smoothie challenge in February. Aren't we already cold enough? My thoughts exactly. But not too long ago, we all just celebrated this special little holiday called New Year's, and I know a lot of us came out of the gate with some really ambitious goals, whether it was goals for our career, goals for our business, or our personal lives. And we all even had some health and wellness goals. I know I did, whether it was to reduce or eliminate dairy from my diet, or maybe you were thinking about reducing your meat consumption. Maybe you just want to get more fruits and veggies or just be overall healthy. And so I thought, you know what, a 28-day smoothie challenge is a great way to do that because it helps you pick up the momentum and kind of get back on track. Plus, smoothies are a delicious and simple way to get more fruits and vegetables in your diet if that's something that you struggle with. And if you do the right things and prepare ahead of time, smoothies don't take that long to make, and you get to fuel your body with a lot of nutritional ingredients without spending a ton of time in the kitchen, because I know we all could save some time and get back to our lives. So we definitely want to make sure that while we focus on being healthier and getting more good stuff in our body, that we may not have to spend a lot of time doing that. So today is the kickoff video, and then on February 1st, there's going to be a new video smoothie recipe that's going to drop every morning. So you want to make sure that you don't miss a smoothie video. So subscribe to the Vegtabowl Foods YouTube channel, and you can also mosey on over to vegtablefoods.com to get updated as well. And while you're there, I highly recommend that you claim your free Veg Out cookbook straight from Vegtabowl Foods. It's a plant-based cookbook, so it'd be really good to use that plant-based cookbook in addition to the 28 smoothie day challenge to get your body fueled up with lots of fruits and veggies and fiber and protein. So for today, I want to take a couple minutes to talk about some of the ingredients that you definitely want to have on hand for this 28-day smoothie challenge, and how to prep a couple of these ingredients to make it easier for you. Now, tomorrow on the 30th, I'm going to drop an ingredients list video, which is going to go over all the ingredients that you want to have on hand. If you're like me, I try to go to the grocery store one day a week and load up on all the great things that I'm going to need throughout the week. Just makes it a lot easier for me for prepping. So when you see the ingredients list video tomorrow, you'll know exactly what you need to get from the store to get through the 28-day smoothie challenge. Now, a lot of these items are frozen, so they will keep well, and the other ones that aren't frozen, they'll basically keep in your fridge for 28 days, so no worries about things spoiling. And then on the 31st, I'm going to drop another video, which is going to be basically comparing 3 popular blenders. So if you're in the market for a blender, that is definitely a video that you want to check out. Or if you have a blender at home and you want to see how yours compare to the 3 that I'm going to be comparing, then you make sure you want to tune into that as well. The most important thing from that video, though, is the anatomy of a smoothie. There are certain ways that you blend a smoothie or add the ingredients to the pitcher to make sure that you get a pretty smooth and consistent smoothie, no matter what type of blender that you're dealing with. And so we really want to take those 3 blenders and make sure that, hey, if I'm going to pay this price, that the performance is also going to be just as high as well. And then on February 1st, we get started with our first smoothie. So let's talk about a couple of ingredients first that you want to have on hand for this 28-day smoothie challenge. Oh, and by the way, if you know of anybody that would want to join the 28-day smoothie challenge, definitely share this video with them. It's awesome to get a group of people together, either co-workers or friends, so that you all can do it together and be a support system. That's also another great way to keep up the momentum and keep each other accountable, okay? So let's start off with our produce. So Bananas. Majority, I'm going to say about 98% of the smoothies over the next 28 days are going to have bananas in them. Bananas are great for thickness, for flavor, and for natural sweetness. So definitely with a bunch of bananas. Bananas are pretty easy to prep, right? You just take them and you just pop them up. But since we're going to use so many bananas and some of them are required to be frozen so that we can add a different type of texture and consistency to the smoothie, I highly recommend taking a day and just taking your bananas and prepping them so that they can be ready to go and frozen for you. So I recommend just taking your bananas, right? I've got my little garbage bag over here. Take your knife and take a Ziploc bag and just cut them into fourths. And just know that a fourth or 4 pieces equal 1 banana. Now there is one smoothie recipe that just calls for half a banana, so that means you just take 2 pieces. But usually if you just have a regular sandwich Ziploc bag like this one right here, you can get about 2 bananas in there just fine. And then that way you stick them in the freezer. And then when you go to make your smoothie, you're like, all right, let me just grab 4 pieces out of here and let me pop those in the blender. So this is a great quick way to go ahead and to prep your bananas for the 28-day smoothie challenge. So get your bananas and get slicing. Let me move this out of the way. All right, let's talk about frozen fruit before I get to the other produce. Now a lot of the recipes also call for strawberries. I highly recommend that the way to a really good smoothie consistency is making sure that your ingredients are kind of chopped up and already prepped. It makes making your smoothie a lot faster, and then your blender doesn't have to work as hard depending on the type of blender that you have. So a lot of strawberries come whole. If you're working from fresh strawberries, I highly suggest you slice them. So I found these just a couple weeks ago, but sliced strawberries will make your blending experience a lot easier. So there are tons of brands out there. This has just happened to be the one that I have, but get the sliced ones because it will make breaking it down and making that smoothie a lot faster and a lot quicker. So try to get sliced fruit, frozen fruits if you can find them. Mangoes and pineapples, you'll need those as well. You can find chunks of frozen pineapples and mangoes anywhere. So that's another one. So get the sliced strawberries and then get chunks of everything else. Makes it making a smoothie a lot easier. All right, let's talk about the large ginger root. We're going to use ginger root in a lot of the smoothies as well. Ginger is great for providing like a subtle, spicy kind of kick to it. Another type of flavor that's unexpected but welcomed in my world. Also, ginger root has some really good health properties as well. Anti-inflammatory, helps with cleansing, really good spice or root to have in your cabinet, whether it's fresh or dry. But for the 28-day smoothie challenge, we are going to use fresh. So this is a pretty large ginger root, right? I would suggest going to an international or ethnic specialty food. I actually got this from our local Asian market. Tends to be a lot more affordable, and you get some nice sizes that you can work with. So to prepare your ginger, I would just take probably about a good, actually, just take your ginger. I always do this backwards. And take a little peeler and then just start to peel away the skin. And that's what I love about the large size of the ginger root, is that you have something that you can hold on to. I don't know how many times you all have actually been to a grocery store and you get the small little chunks of ginger and then you go to like cut it or peel it and you're like cutting your fingers and peeling your hand. So at least with this, you get a nice little grip on it, and then you've got tons of ginger to roll with for a while. So take a peeler and just peel the skin off. If you don't have a peeler, I highly suggest you get one, especially if you're going to be rolling with Vegetable Foods for a while, because we use this quite a bit. Just a couple bucks, you can find them anywhere. So with the ginger, just take it and then just get a nice size. And this is going to be your size that you're going to work with during the 28-day smoothie challenge, okay? So take the ginger, and that smells really good, really fresh. Here's a little garbage trash can, put that off to the side. So with the ginger, now that I have some shaved off, I got a good quantity, I'm going to then just cut it. This is the rest of my ginger that I can use later on in life whenever I decide to use it. And then this is the piece that I'm going to use basically for the 28-day smoothie challenge. Yours would be a little bigger, but here I have a wet paper towel, already wet. And then just take that piece that you've already peeled and just wrap it up. This way it keeps the flavor profile of the ginger and it keeps it really fresh. Then when you need ginger for your smoothie recipe, all you have to do is just go into the fridge, get the ginger, it's already peeled, and then cut off the slices if you want. Now if you really want to get fancy, you could cut these into chunks and then have them in here, and then that way you just grab a chunk. Most of the smoothies recipes call for a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of ginger, which is just probably one good chunk of this fresh ginger. So ginger, check. Parsley. Parsley, with prepping parsley, is another, it's very similar philosophy of like the ginger. You want to take your parsley, and I house or like store my parsley like this anyway because it keeps it fresh. Especially at the grocery stores, they sell you like a bunch of parsley for like 99 cents, and I wish that I can just take a couple of branches of it. I feel so bad for like wasting it. But anyway, you take your parsley that you think you're going to need for the smoothie challenge, and really, folks, if you just want to grab a couple of branches, I'm pretty sure the produce lady or the checkout lady won't mind, and just be like, hey, just charge me for it, because for the smoothie challenge, there's only one recipe that calls for parsley. So again, I have one paper towel that's already wet, and then I would take the stalks or just take the little branches or the bushels off of the parsley and just put them in the wet paper towel. Then that way you've got what you need for the smoothie challenge. And about this much is pretty good. The recipe that I'm thinking about that has the parsley only calls for a teaspoon. So this is plenty. This is perfect. And then you just take it and you just roll it up and then just put it in your Ziploc bag. That's it. Now, I have saved the lemon and the avocado for last because these two are going to work hand in hand when it comes to prepping. All right, I have two sandwich bags here. One's going to be for the avocado, one's going to be for the lemon. Now we have probably about 60% of these smoothie recipes have lemon in it. Lemon is a great ingredient, helps with the citric, gets your vitamin C, and adds a little flavor to it. Also, it has some cleansing properties too. So that's why I love lemon. And lemon is actually a great way to start your day. If you just warm up 8 ounces of water a little above room temperature and then just use a half a lemon of juice, it's a good way to start your metabolism. Also helps with cleaning your liver and your kidney as well. So lemons, lemons, lemons. But since we're going to be using lemons in our smoothie recipes, you might as well cut these bad boys and put them in a Ziploc bag or use Saran wrap. Might as well, right? And so most of the 28 days smoothie recipes actually call for a half or fresh juice from a half of a lemon. So you can just cut them up and have them ready to go already. So these little steps help quite a bit. They may not seem like much now, but when it's like 6 o'clock in the morning and you need to get your smoothie made and you have to cut and prep and chop and peel, it will deter you real quick from wanting to make a smoothie. And even if you're choosing to replace one meal a day of a smoothie and it's not breakfast, say for instance it's dinner, but if you have a household, if you have a family that you've got to cook for, Whatever time you can save, I'm pretty sure will be welcomed. So you see that I left one lemon out, and I have this lonely, beautiful green avocado. So we have a couple recipes that are going to have avocado in them because they got nice fats in them, nice healthy fats in them. They're creamy and they make you stay and feel full for a while. So I absolutely love avocado. So with the avocado, you're just going to leave the skin on and you're going to cut it in half. Working with avocado, and then you're just going to take it a little twist. You see I have the seed here, and then I have the other half where there isn't a seed. Now with the avocado, when you use or you're cutting one avocado for a recipe, most of the recipes are only going to call for half a recipe. What I would do is, for the recipe, for the first one where you're cutting the avocado for the first time, is I would use the avocado without the seed and store and save the one with the seed. Why? Because if you keep the seed in with the avocado, it won't brown and it looks nice and creamy. So I would do that, and then also I would take a lemon and I would put them both in the same bag because lemons will also help slow down the browning process of avocados. And actually what would be a good idea is if you actually take these two, saran wrap them together, and then place them in the same bag. But the lemon along with the pit inside the avocado will slow down that browning process like immensely. So that's it for the avocados and the lemons and all of our other produce. So I have those off to the side, all prepped, ready to go. So let's talk about our liquids for a minute, shall we? So there's going to be a lot of different liquids. There are going to be some fruit juices like carrot juice, some pineapple juice, some non-dairy milk. But I wanted to just wanted to bring to your attention aloe vera juice, which is very important. Again, this has more of a cleansing property to it, which is very important. And I'm going to say probably about 95% of these smoothies have aloe vera in them. Aloe vera is great for calming and soothing as well, anti-inflammatory properties. And so right here, I have a gallon. I believe I got this for about $6.99. I've seen gallons go as much as $7.99, but you definitely want to get a gallon of aloe vera. Even if you don't go through all of this during the 28-day smoothie challenge, this is great to just drink on its own. You can drink 8 ounces in the morning or at night, and it'll definitely help with the detoxing process and help cleanse out the stuff that may be in your intestines. So if you notice, I have 2 different types and 2 different bottles of aloe vera juice. Well, this is juice and this is drink. So the difference between the drink and the juice is that the drink has a little more stuff into it. I show this because you definitely want to steer clear of the aloe vera drink. You definitely want the aloe vera juice, and preferably that says, like this one says aloe vera from 100% hand cultivated inner gel leaf. So you want to get this. Drink, please stay away from. But if drink is the only thing that you can find, try to get either organic or try to find one that does not have a lot of flavors or artificial properties in it. So this one has mineral water, organic aloe vera powder, organic aloe vera gel, organic cane sugar, and natural grape flavor. Try to find ones that do not have any other type of fruit flavor in them, because usually sometimes this actually is a decent brand because it has natural grape flavor. But if you can, you want to get as pure as aloe vera juice as you possibly can. Okay, so this is all I wanted to cover about the juice. So I'm just going to move this off to the side. This is a pretty huge cutting board. I can do all types of things. My mother-in-law got this from me like several years ago, and I've used it more in my life the past 2 weeks than I have in the past like 8 years that I've had it. All right, on to the powders. So the powders are very important because they're a supplement. We use some powders in probably about 10% of the smoothie recipes. So let's talk about our powder. So that we've talked about our produce and how to prep some produce that we're going to have in our 28-day smoothie challenge, because trust, there's going to be a lot. And we've talked about our liquids. Let's talk about our proteins. Now these proteins are going to be added more as like supplement, and to make sure that you're getting a really full meal out of these smoothies, because the goal is to replace one meal a day with a smoothie. Again, with the goal of eating a little more healthier, getting all the things that we need that we may be missing out on. Now, if you've ever been to some of these smoothie places or franchises, they always give you a chance to add in a supplement. So whether it's peanut butter or soy protein or whey protein, there's always that option. So there are a handful of our smoothie recipes that actually do have a powder in them. So let's talk about them real quick. So let's start with my beloved peanut butter. This is dried peanut butter. I discovered this last year, and I know you're probably like, dang, EJ, you greedy. I love peanut butter. Like, I'm never going to take the spoon and just go all into the peanut butter. Luckily, my husband doesn't like peanut butter as much. So, but I noticed that, you know, even though there's good fat in peanut butter, it's higher in fat. Calories, if I'm watching my calories, it's 200 calories for 2 tablespoons. With the dry peanut butter, it's actually only 50 calories per 2 tablespoons. And as far as fat is concerned, it's like virtually non-existent. It's like 1.5 grams of fat, which is only your 2% of your daily recommended value. So this, I choose to get the big container because I can probably get through this in 3 weeks. But you can also use this powder for other things outside of smoothies. You can use it as peanut butter, so you just mix it up with water and make a sandwich with it, pair it up with your jelly, or you can also use it in baked goods. But this is a lot more economical. I got this from a wholesale club. You've got 30 ounces. I paid about $8.99 for it. From a regular grocery store, you get a little pouch that's like 8 to 10 ounces, and you're paying anywhere between $4.99 and $6.99, depending on the brand. So if you can get a big container of this dried peanut butter powder, I highly recommend it. If you're down for regular peanut butter, use that too. So in the recipe, it may say 2 tablespoons of dried peanut butter. Go ahead and use 2 tablespoons of regular peanut butter. Now, for those of you that may not love this peanut butter as much as I do, or who can't love it because you're allergic, got you covered there. This is sunflower seed butter. You can get this from most grocery stores now. I remember a couple of years ago just playing around and looking at the different options out there to substitute peanut butter. It was very hard to find those substitutions. Now they're everywhere. This is just a regular 16-ounce container of the sunflower seed butter, and I paid about $3.99 for it. So you can use this as well and substitute it in the smoothie recipe that calls for the peanut butter powder. Just use 2 tablespoons of the sunflower seed butter and replace the peanut butter. Now, protein powder. These 2 protein powders I absolutely love. Why? Because they're plant-based and they're both filled with loads of goodness. Now, we've got the Vega chocolate and greens, which I love, and then you've got Purely Inspired, which also has servings of fruits and veggies in them. I love these 2 because plant-based. You get 20 grams of protein per serving for both of them. They are high in fiber, and you also get some fruits and veggies. So this is a great like all-in-one meal, and these will be used in about 2 to 4 of our smoothie recipes that we have prepared for you. So definitely get your hands on both of them. You will need chocolate and you will need a vanilla. I just mixed them up because I like them both. I like both brands, so I was like, let me just get chocolate in one and vanilla in the other. So grab one of these, and if you're not ready to commit to a full container, go ahead and get the small containers. I know Vega has like the small little pouches that are usually cost about $2 to $3. So try those ahead of time to see if you really love the flavor. I'm not sure if Purely Inspired, I have not seen them yet, offer the small pouches, but if they do, and if you all have found them, then definitely share that with us so that we know where we can go grab them. But the Purely Inspired, this container, which is about 2 pounds, ran me about $18. They were on sale at a wholesale club. And then the Vega, this size, which is a little over a pound, you can typically find anywhere from $24.99 to $29.99. So grab these 2 up, and if you have a favorite plant-based protein that you want to use or recommend to us, definitely post that as well so that we all know. So these are your protein or your plant-based protein powders that you want to have. You will need chocolate and you will need vanilla. So on to the green powder. So a few of the recipes for the 28-day smoothie challenge says green powder. I say green powder because you could use any powder. You could use spirulina powder. You could use wheatgrass powder. That is totally up to you. I highly recommend the Detox and Digest green powder by Amazing Grass. I discovered Amazing Grass probably about 2 years ago, and it was through their the wheatgrass powder. But this has everything in it. Why just buy one when you can have everything? So let me tell you some things that it has in it. It has the organic wheatgrass. It's got barley grass. It has spirulina in it. It's got organic broccoli. It has a ton of good stuff in it. So this really helps with like cleansing the system well. So this has a few of the 28-day smoothie recipes call for a green powder, but you can add it in other smoothies as well. I mean, feel free to add it to every one if you want, but this definitely helps with the cleansing process. It gives you good probiotics as well, and a lot of green stuff. So I highly recommend, and don't worry about like remembering all this stuff. Remember, tomorrow we're dropping the ingredient list video, so get your pens and your papers ready, and then also I'll have links to all these different resources so that you don't have to remember everything. So that does it for our powders. We've gone over our produce, some of our produce anyway. We've gone over our liquids, and we've gone over our powders that you would need for the 28-day smoothie challenge. So I hope you all are excited as I am, that you love smoothies as much as I do. As a reminder, if you know someone that would love to do the 28-day smoothie challenge with you, share with them this video. Also, to join the conversation, there's going to be a hashtag going around, because you know we got to do that. It's going to be hashtag VTD Smoothie Challenge, and we'll have that on Twitter and we'll have that on Facebook, just so that we can encourage each other. And if you make any modifications to any of the smoothie recipes, share those modifications with us so that we can try them out later. You know, smoothies can be enjoyed all year round, as you know, because we're dropping this in February. But thank you all for your support. I've taken up enough of your time. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.